After months of speculation, it's confirmed this low-top silhouette is the Anta Kai 2, the second signature shoe of Kyrie Irving with a Chinese brand. He wore the shoe during the NBA All-Star Game where his team won the championship. It's probably not best format of the All-Star Game, but that's another story. But going back, Kyrie made his 9th NBA All-Star appearance, although technically he wouldn't have made the list had it not been for Anthony Davis. AD didn't play because of an injury, and Kyrie got to play as replacement, and so the debut of his shoes in the All-Star Game. The shoe had its full colors on display, unlike in previous versions where the colors used were very minimal. The furry laces also gave the shoe that one-of-a-kind look, something that's more for visuals than performance, of course. Let's talk more about the Anta Kai 2. The question some of you have is this the equivalent of the Artist On-Court colorway which we first saw in the Anta Kai 1, or is this something else? Because if you recall, the Kai 1 Artist On-Court was the colorway that Jaylen Brown wore during last year's NBA All-Star Game. And it seems like it is. The Anta Kai 2 that Kyrie wore during the All-Star Game could very well be the Artist On-Court colorway, and it's most likely going to be the launch colorway just like last year. But unlike last year, the Kai 2 differs a lot. The colors are more on the pastel side. The purple is not as deep as the Kai 1 version. Even the outsole uses a muted brown color together with the pastel hue of the collar lining. The furry laces with golden metal aglets in the Kai 2 Artist On-Court are also a sharp departure from the Kai 1 Artist On-Court, for obvious reasons. But let's set aside the Kai 1 and zero in on the Kai 2. The upper material has a leather texture, but I don't expect it to be genuine leather. It's probably synthetic leather like the ones we've seen in Kyrie's lifestyle shoes. The upper has molded zigzag sections at the back that reverberate from the Anta logo. This is embroidered in a tribal design to form the logo's outline. For me, the visual highlights of this colorway are the laces and the Achilles panel at the back. We touched on the laces a while ago, so let's have a look at the back of the shoe. First thing that pops out is the pink embroidered Kai with a heart icon between the A and the I. This is surrounded by yellow stars with Kyrie's logo on the black diamond piece at the top, apart from what looks like two white birds at the base. This back section has the recurring imagery of triangles which symbolize mountains because, as you know, Kyrie's Sioux name Hala means little mountain. The midsole seems like it will have two components, a stiffer foam material acting as a carrier or cage for a softer foam material inside. Just look at the oblique window at the rear lateral with Kyrie's signature. If you're going to cage a foam midsole, the most reasonable expectation is that because it's very soft and therefore unstable when left uncaged. And Kyrie, being a player who does a lot of crazy footwork, requires a very stable cushioning in his shoes, so it all adds up, I think. But as to what exact type of foam midsole the Kai 2 has is anybody's guess at this time. My guess though, it's an upgraded version of Anta's nitrogen foam. It could be a better iteration of the Pro version like the one that we had in the Shockwave 6 Pro, or perhaps it could be a new foam material altogether. Either way, the setup itself suggests that the foam should be really soft. And then we have the outsole. It overextends at the toe section for those shifty footwork that requires toe drags, and we can see some triangular patterns on it. I do expect, however, for the outsole to continue with the tribal-inspired traction pattern similar in some ways to the outsole of the Anta Kai 1 Speed. The Anta Kai 1 Artist On-Court retailed for $125. For the Kai 2, we don't have info about the retail price yet, but it could still be in the $120 range. Let's hope Kyrie stays true to his word of keeping his signature line within reach of the people's pockets. Otherwise, it's business as usual. Last year, the Kai 1 began selling March 6. We could see the same thing for the Kai 2 sometime early March. And while we wait for the details, let me know what you think.